Keep watching if you don't know where to buy your next property. There are places around Australia that are booming, and then there's places around Australia that are declining in value. So you've got to be able to wean through those suburbs that are going to underperform for the next 12 months and beyond and pick out those high growth areas. You are going to be limited by your budget unless you do a creative deal. But for most people, you are going to be using your own money to buy the property. So that means that you're limited in the amount you're able to spend, which reduces the number of suburbs, and normally people look to regional areas. I don't like regional areas because the market cycles can be really quick up and really quick down the other side. And the long-term growth normally isn't very good in those regional areas. So my opinion is to focus on capital cities and getting growth near capital cities. But that doesn't necessarily mean just jumping into any capital city, because places like Sydney, for example, they've declined in value. So they really have had an affordability crunch placed on them because people just literally can't afford to buy property. So you need to look at things like who else is buying the property and can they afford to continue to pay more in the long term. So if you're buying in like a first home buyer market, first home buyers generally do high gearing, which means they borrow most of the money from the bank. The long-term capital growth in first home buyer markets generally isn't going to be very high.